what's the book about? What's the general
Well,
idea?
the book came out of is the book's sort of working title anyway, is Twice as Long, Twice as Much. You know, if you say that to a client or somebody in the building industry, their brain goes tick, 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 twice as long. Oh yes, you mean the project that I just finished, which took twice as long and cost me twice as much. So that's how the origin of the title. And what I discovered uh, by sort of going to all the bookstores and looking at books is there is no book that really tells the reasonably uninformed. I mean, I'm not talking about people with huge experience of building stuff. I'm talking about, you know, a couple who want to add an addition on their house, or build a small house, or build a big house, who knows, but who don't know a great deal. But there is no roadmap as to know how you should go about it. Now, I'm not talking about the design. I'm not talking about the interior design, the architecture, anything. I'm talking about the steps you need to take uh, to have a fulfilling experience building something, and not that it, and to try and prevent it being a fucking oh, excuse me, a nightmare. And which it can easily be. As my wife said, it shouldn't be called twice as long, twice as much. It should be called three times, because I have, you know, first-hand knowledge of a lot of projects that started out one thing, and they practically broke the client, and in a way it sort of left a bad taste, because they got too deep into the project, and then they're not really sure they're going to be able to enjoy the product, because they might have to sell it because they had to borrow so much money to do it. So I think it's important that that people understand the steps. Now, the book is designed for my clients or anybody's clients who's thinking about doing something. It leads you through, as you read it, all the steps that you should make, need to make, and all the pitfalls that you want to try to avoid. And it takes you through the process from the very beginning, which is, you know, oh, we've got a house that we love that house, but it needs to be changed. So what do we do? You've got to find, I mean, you really have to start with a design professional. That could be an interior designer, could be an architect, could be, you know, basically those two really. What you don't want to do is start with a contractor, which is a mistake that a lot of people make. So, and I'll, you know, the book explains why not. But this book is set up into, is roughly sort of 12 chapters, and the idea is it will translate into a 12 episode show, which takes the viewer through the beginning, the very beginning, the starting, the dun, 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 all the way through to the moment they move in. Uh, and it's supposed to be rather light-hearted. It's supposed to be funny. Hopefully, it's funny, because things do happen that you can't avoid, and you better you better keep a sense of humour, because you know there will be moments when you know something happens and that is completely unexpected. And the book has a lot of cartoons in it. A simple kind of like three step cartoons, you know, the sort of the hole in the ground. They're digging a hole in the ground, and they're digging a deeper hole in the ground, and then you know they hit the sewer or the water lines. You know, that kind of silly, fairly silly, but important. You need to know that. You need to know if you're digging a hole, what's underneath, because if it's on an existing plot of land with a house, it may well have something other than dirt there. So hopefully not a body, of course. That would be unfortunate.
Or a burial ground,
A burial
not
ground.
just
Yeah.
one body, but a
Yeah.
whole.
Yes. Anyway, so yes, I don't exactly want to call it a guide, because it's not really a guide. It's not a do-it-yourself book. It's a book that if somebody who's fairly not so well informed and wants to learn about the pitfalls and what to do, if they read this book, they'll learn a lot. It's all about the language. Let's face it, if you meet with an architect, or meet with a designer, or indeed meet with a contractor, there's bound to be parts of that conversation that come spinning out of his mouth that you go nod, 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 but you have absolutely no idea what they're really talking about. And you kind of don't want to butt in and look completely stupid. The book will give you those key words, and when they start talking about soil engineering, what the hell is soil engineering, you know? I mean, that's very strange. You know, is it? I mean, so things like that, and many terminologies. There's actually in the book, there's a glossary of words, and you look up the glossary, and it will tell you where in the book to go to see what that's about and what it means. So, and that's always a nice thing to have. You know, somebody talks about, oh, they were talking about such and such. You look it up. So I think it, you know, it's based on a lot of experience. It's not a sort of book you can really write if you haven't been doing it a long time. And I think, you know, sharing my some of the disasters and some of the successes, it's got to be worthwhile.